Hello, and welcome to Please Hold, the podcast series where two sisters talk about tackling the underappreciated world of CS and talk about customer service and success from both sides. We are your hosts. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Tiffany. And you are tuning into Please Hold.
That's such a new cue.
I know, I'm just like,
okay. All right. So in today's episode, you want to get into it or
yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is, it's so touchy for me. I think I'm, just passionate?
Passionate.
This is passion.
It's passion coming
this
through.
This is passion going to come through your speakers today. Okay? Whew, okay. So today's episode is, you do CS?
Y'all, if you're only listening, you need to come back and watch the video version of this because it's her face that's going to tell the entire thing. This entire episode, probably.
I feel like that's what their face looks like when people find out, like, oh, you work in customer service. Like, and it's also kind of like how they say it, like, oh, you're down there at the bottom. Like, and I've heard it so many times working at companies who are like, oh, I'll start from the bottom. The bottom?
Yeah.
This is not the bottom. This is the front lines. This is a the most important role pretty much at every company because they're the face.
Yeah.
Besides, your imagery and everything, maybe your product you have out there. Like, at the end of the day, like, if your customer service is not on point, bro, like, we're going to have some problems.
I don't think that they're at the bottom. Absolutely not.
No.
I do think that it is a starting point.
Yes.
Right?
It is a stepping stone to your next point.
Yeah.
It's not the bottom.
It's a great jump off point, right? Like you can do a lot from here and go on to the next part from wherever you're at within the company. Like,
right.
I feel like it's a starting point. It's never a bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we just have to get that out of people's mind. Stop saying it's the bottom.
It's not the bottom.
It's not the bottom.
CS is not the bottom.
No. The beginning is not the bottom. It's just the beginning.
Yep.
One end to the other. That's what it is. And it's an important beginning because that shapes your life, your company, whatever you have going on. It's going to be the shape.
I think we also have to talk about like how important customer service is. I think that's why people have this idea that CS is always at the bottom because they don't have the idea of how important customer service is and how crucial it is to a business until they have a business of their own.
Right. And then you want to be particular.
And then you want to be particular about who you hire. And then you want to be particular about, who's working, who's front facing to your customers, who's talking to them or whatever. And so I think that that's where it really comes into where people are not, they have when they think about customer service, the first thing that they think about is call center. I think that that's usually what I think about is like the first thing I'm like, oh, you work in like a call center. But there's a lot of different types of customer service. And
your Dior associate.
Right.
Customer service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chanel associate, your customer service.
Golden Corral server.
Uh-huh.
Customer service.
Customer service.
I don't know why I went there.
I'm not sure. We went from Dior and Chanel to Golden Corral.
I'm just saying, it's like different ends of the spectrum, like
there are different ends of the spectrum. I worked in high-end retail.
Okay.
I've also worked in, regular retail. Do your customers treat you differently? Yes, they do. When
you have a different clientele.
You have different clientele for sure. So you're dealing with sometimes a caliber of individuals when you are working in high-end retail and versus where I was just working at, I don't know, like I worked at this one jean store in the mall like years ago. It was called Buckle.
I forgot you worked there. Oh my God.
It was the fucking worst, man. Okay, for one, I am not.
You worked at 2 jean stores. This is like a thing for you.
Yeah, it was. I love me some jeans. I did not like selling them, but the other jean store was a higher end because I was at the same mall at Phipps Plaza. So gotcha. Yes, totally different, but still, I'm not a salesperson, y'all. I cannot sell anything. Please don't ask me to sell not a damn thing because I can't do it. But you have different, based upon like where you're working at in customer service, yes, you have different caliber of customers. They're going to treat you a little bit differently, but it's still, I feel like even if I was working at the high-end jean store, those customers are still going to look at me and be like, you work in customer service, right? Like you're beneath me.
Retail customer service,
right? You're beneath me.
Oh yeah, I mean, but think about it. Your broker is customer service. You're gonna call them to make sure they're doing everything and meeting your needs. So that's a form of customer service.
Yeah, your real estate agent.
Customer service. You don't want them to be like, hey, I got this house for you. Come look at it today. You know, like what? You want your real estate agent to call you and be like,
and have that relationship with you.
Build a relationship with me.
Client relationship.
Exactly. So it's like, it really it's vast. You know, just because it's not in a call center does not mean it's not customer service.
And I think the where people look down the most at, and I don't know why, I have no idea, is waitressing, like waitress, like serving, wait staff. Like for me, and I just don't understand it. Like one, waitresses, waiters, bartenders, they make bank. They may making some hella good money. Mm-hmm. And it is a hard ass job. That job is unforgiving. It is, if you've never worked as a waitress, I think you said this when we were on a guest on Indie High Radio podcast, that if you have never worked in a customer service role, you don't need to be out here in the real world.
Right. Because you need to learn like humanity, mm-hmm. you know, and you need to learn how to treat people, because if you get treated bad, you're like, oh, I never want to be treated like that again.
Right.
You know? And you gotta learn how to roll some silverware.
Yeah. My life changed. My life changed when I started rolling some silverware, and I was like, all right, I am never again will I ever look down upon waitresses and waiters, or, you know, working in the restaurant industry it's so tough. It's still and it's rewarding as well, because I still have friends who are in the service industry, and I made lifelong like friends, family, whatever you want to call it, you know, in the service industry. Like if you find your niche in a restaurant, like you can really make friends for life there, and it's very, 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 very close community. But let's kind of dig deeper into today's episode. I know we have some things that we kind of specific things that we want to tackle and talk about. So I'll let you kind of lead the conversation here.
So I guess the first question is why, and you guys too, like, you can email us, you know, send us a DM on Instagram, but like, why do people refer to customer service as the bottom? And if you have your interpretation of like the bottom, or you think, you know, like, I want to hear from it too, and like I want to post your comments on our page also.
I think they feel that if they are getting served in any capacity, that it is kind of like a servant, like a service that they're getting. So that I don't know why that's the immediate like thing that is kind of looked down on customer service in that aspect, but because I guess they're being serviced, and I think the main thing I feel like is that they don't believe that they get paid well, which some of it is true.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in another episode, as just where that wage like it's not there. It's a wage gap between men and women, and between just the fact that from other roles within a company that the pay is not there. So I think that is like a big factor in the fact that like people look down upon it. They're like, oh, well, you don't make that much. It is, you know, whether you're working at McDonald's for $11.75 to making about maybe $600 on like an average night at a really, really popular restaurant, they still like, oh, well, this did not take you to go ahead and have like a career in this. I think people think that like you can't have a career in the service industry in like a customer service role.
Yeah. I also think that it comes down to education because people think like, oh, it's easy to go get a customer service job. You don't really need a bachelor's, a master's, you know, a high-end education in order to qualify for a customer service role. So, you know, kind of same thing goes along into like the salary. It's just like, oh, it's easy. Like you must not, you know, you didn't go to college, so that's why you're in customer service. You can't get anything better. Like, first of all, let's take this back. Let's take it all the way back here. Okay? Just because you went to school and got an education, which is great, no knock to anybody who went out and did that and spent the time. It does show like, hey, on a resume, like you're able to stick to something and finish it from start to end. Beautiful. But I have met some idiots. Idiots. I know there was a pause there. I just wanted to just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Who have degrees.
Yeah.
And don't know anything. Just because you went there and attended this class and did the paperwork and everything, homework, and turned in and got your assignment done does not make you a genius now in this area. Because, honey, you have no experience. And experience trumps that. Because there are some badass moms and dads out there, some single people out there who are just, you know, just doing whatever they can, hustling. And then this is their job is their hustle and are amazing people. They may not have a high-end education, but they're amazing people.
And who's to say that they don't have a higher education?
Right. And exactly. Just because you're in CS, maybe it's just like, hey, like I went to school for this and I just decided not to do it. And so I'm doing this because I'm trying to go another route or I'm starting my own business. So I'm here doing this.
Or you just really like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's too far-fetched. The fact that maybe this is actually just something that's enjoyable for people. I know that there are people out there who really honestly like being in the service industry. They really love, they're passionate about doing, you know, being a waitress, a waiter, a bartender. People, I mean, make lifelong careers out of being a bartender or waitress, you know, or they, you know, working in a customer service role, whether it's in retail. I know one of the most amazing bosses I've ever had, he made his whole, like his career was just in high-end retail. Treated everybody amazingly. Like he was one of those first bosses where I was like, oh, bosses can actually really be cool and down to earth and relatable and fun to work with. But there are people who really do enjoy working in that aspect. And I'm not going to lie, like working in retail, depending on where you're working at, like the perks are amazing. When I was working at a high-end store, I was getting 75% off the warehouse price.
Yes.
I was like, this perk is amazing. I had, like, you couldn't tell me anything. Like, you could not tell me anything. My clothes were fresh. So it's like, to think that people are not choosing that route for themselves is a closed-minded idea.
Totally agree. All right, let's get on to our second point here. What ways, because I feel like this is also created by companies, is what ways can companies change the thinking of their organization to around their customer support group and make it more inclusive? Because I feel like because, you know, we're kind of like fresh out of, you know, in the customer support operations department. It's just like, here's the whole company, and then here's customer service over here.
Yeah.
Like, completely separate. Separate from everything. Separate from the things that they do internally. You know, and anything that team building activities. It's always like, the whole company is going, oh, except y'all. So y'all got to go figure it out on your own. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, there has to be a way to change it. Like, times are changing all the time. Things evolve. Things get better. Like, this should not be the thing that's, like, always left behind. Be like, oh, the whole company is going to go out to, you know, going to go on a team building activity. But don't forget, y'all got to stay here and stay on the phones.
Man these phones.
Right. And we're going to build together, but not with y'all.
Yeah, I think that concept is very odd to me. I think the most important, like the backbone of businesses that are customer focused, who have like their business model is centered around gaining customers, whether it's subscriptions, whatever the case may be. I think it's that concept of leaving out customer service and not including them. It is wild to me because it's just, your people who are manning your phones, whether they're talking to your customers every single day, they're answering emails, they know your customers the best, right? They're in touch, they're in tune, they know what your customers want, they know everything about them. I mean, it's a whole research and development every time they get on the phone. Like, you know, they're trying to figure out solutions, try to figure out like what works, what doesn't work. I mean, they're also, your customer service role is also taking on the responsibility of sometimes like doing troubleshooting, their tech support, they're everything. Right. So the fact that like of not including them into company-wide events or not making it easily accessible for them to be able to join those company events, I think is kind of like, you're missing the mark so far. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is a lot of change that needs to happen with companies where we're saying, hey, we're having a company event. We want to make sure that everybody is included. Everybody has a chance to go. Everybody is, you know, they feel included, where it's not a last minute thing for people to, you know, say like, oh yeah, oh, and here's the invite, we forgot to give it to you at the last minute, right? Not oh, we forgot, but you're still invited.
Right. Take another day. Check with your manager.
Oh my gosh, I think that's take another day. What? Like, I'll fight you right now. I will fight you right now. I'll take another day. So, like, I hate it when they especially do that with holidays.
Yeah, like, right. Okay, everyone's off for Christmas.
Right.
But y'all just find another day to celebrate. What in...
So Christmas is... So wait, we gotta... No, that makes no sense.
What? Like, while y'all are over here drinking mimosas in the morning and all wrapping gifts with your family.
For the family.
You know, cuddling with your dog and, you know, what? And you want me to find another day? What day would you like for me to find?
Yes,
25th and a half?
Right. It makes literally no sense. Makes no sense. So I think that is probably like companies, you have the ability. Banks do it all the time. Hey, we are going to be closed. This is a national holiday. We are going to be closed on December 25th. We're going to close early on the December 24th. And I want to hear two things about it. Like, it is what it is.
We're spending time with our families just like you are.
Put it out there. If you got to do a recording that this is, hey, our team members are spending time with their families and their loved ones. We will be back on X amount of day to catch up with you, whatever the case may be. Like, I think it's very easy, but I think for some reason, there's some kind of fear around doing what's sometimes just like right, and what also is like suitable for your staff. Yeah. And, I think that goes back to our last episode of like, your customers aren't always right. You can take and make sure that you're making those provisions for your staff to make sure that they feel comfortable. You're meeting the needs of them. That's just kind of like how you retain good workers. And yeah, I think I think companies really do need to change. I think that they have to rethink the structure of and throw away the past structure of how companies have, worked for centuries or for, decades and stuff like that. Like, throw that away. It's 2023 and we're not saying, scrap everything, but think about putting your staff members first. I say this all the time. If you do that, it just opens up the door. It really does open the door for your team members, your staff to feel like they're being supported. And once they do that, it just it flows just naturally to your customers.
Yeah. So that's kind of like getting into like my third question here, or third topic really, is just like, what can, as times change, what can, or should customer support be given the same concessions as other departments in the company? And, instead of being available around the clock, like, no, not every customer support role requires for you to be available around the clock. I think it's just something that's very like, that we've been in before, but it's just like you said, like everyone should be off, people should just relax a little bit. Honey, Christmas comes around every single time on the same exact day, every single year. It's never changed. It's been there. It's going, like, we all know it's coming. Yep. As soon as the 26th hits, we know it's about to come around next year on the 25th. It's the same thing. So it's like you can make preparations for your company or for your customers to make them aware and get them used to. Like, people need to know, like, hey, man, Walmart ain't going to be open all the time, Like, I know that started something that was changing, or even Target was like, hey, our team spending time with their families, just like you should. Eat your Thanksgiving. Don't come on, Black Friday. You come on Friday. You don't need to come on Gray Thursday.
What? Literally just made that up, y'all.
Yes,
Gray Thursday.
Gray Thursday.
This is now a new thing. If y'all hear about it in the streets, it's now Tiffany has coined the term Gray Thursday.
It's just like, hey, just like putting people back into their place.
Yeah.
Spend some time with your family. Enjoy that.
It's never that serious.
It's not. It really isn't. There is no new toy, new thing, new whatever.
Them TVs are going to be there. And if that Walmart don't got it, the next Walmart does. And if that doesn't, then the Target does. And if they don't, count on your Amazon Prime because they will always come through.
Right. Or just prepare better and,
I don't know. Be a better person.
Do it in October.
Yeah.
I don't know.
October. Right. October's a great shopping month. Yeah. I feel that for sure.
Christmas in October.
No, as far as going back to your question, I definitely feel that other departments get the better, like the bigger straw, like they get better concessions and they get better treated than other customer service departments. And I think, I can't wrap my head around it of why why one department gets ill-treated or less than a lack of commitment, a lack of, inclusivity. And it's sad because these are the people that are taking care of your most prized possession, which is your customers.
Right.
So they should feel like, hey, I feel supported. And I don't think that every business model needs to be, around the clock. I know that you and I both have set up a 24/7 customer service department. We've experienced how to do that. We know what it takes. It's hard. We've worked with, call centers overseas and also developing a call center here as well. And we know that it's also tiresome. It's, that it's taxing on your current employees that you have because you're trying to transition them. You're also trying to find schedules that work. Your other people don't work 24 hours. They don't work at odd hours unless, if they're salary, then that's on them, but it's a choice.
Right. And it's not like you have to, or it's just like you can choose when you're going to be on clock, on, on call, and things like that. So it's just, I don't know. I think it just needs to change. I think we just need to come together, let's revamp this. Let's put this out, something new that we're going to do. 2024 is going to be an amazing year for customer service. I'm going to say it now. Like, it's time to just go ahead, change it up, and do something better for your people. Like, I cannot preach that enough. Like, just support your people so they can support your people.
Right. Support your people so they can support your people.
Please. Okay. So, I guess here's my last one. And I think it's like a big one because, like I said, times are changing, right? Mm-hmm. So, with AI just seeming to like take over everything, do you feel like live customer support is going to be a thing of the past soon?
No, I don't. You know, I was on a panel earlier this year in regards to like digital transformation, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of great things that AI does. You know, it makes things easier. Shout out to ChatGPT. But I see all these people making these little, avatars of their face. I'm not really an avatar, but like making an AI version of their face. I really don't want to do that. It's
weird.
It's weird and not trying to have you now.
And you have been duplicated. There's 7 of you over there.
Yeah. But with AI is really, really cool. It is cool. And it makes things a lot easier, especially for running a business, automating things. It has totally changed the game. But I think that there's also like a human element about being and talking to a customer, that people who value that, and like myself, and I know for you, like you want to talk to a real person. I don't want to be, yes, sometimes it is easier for me just to go onto a website, put in a question, a chat bot will come up and answer my question. And like those things are very helpful. Amazon has an amazing chat. Like you can return something in a heartbeat, ask a question. It kind of almost from your last response, it'll curate the next question. It's amazing. But you can't beat a human touch, and AI just doesn't give that to you. It's having somebody on the other end who's showing you that empathy, the concern, the realness to it, the connectivity with another human being. I think that there is a lot that all of that AI can't do. You can't duplicate that. Yes, can you duplicate giving the right answer? Which in some cases it works well. Like you want to get off the phone, or you want to get down onto the rest of your day. But at the same time, like, if it's something that's more complex or that may be sensitive, I think that kind of also talks about like in which area of focus, right? If you're working for a law firm, or if you're working for something that is more sensitive to somebody, like that happened to somebody, or a customer's needs, you don't want AI handling that, right? And now your information is all out there. It can be sensitive. So just like, I think there's always going to be a realm and room for live customer support, rather than just like, AI or a bot or somebody who's, not in tune with what your customers want.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, I think we covered some good points here today. Like,
kind of calm down a little bit.
Calm down. Like,
right.
I'm very passionate about CS. Like, always going to be like the core of me. But it's just like changing. Starting to change the way that people think about CS, treat CS, just do better.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So then we're gonna wrap up episode 3 here.
Man, we're already on episode 3?
I know.
I feel like we just started yesterday.
Okay, well, so please rate, review, subscribe on
Thumbs
YouTube.
up.
Follow us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Please follow us on IG at pleasehold_podcast. You can email us a story.
We want to hear your stories. Please email us your stories. We want to hear that. We can share them on the podcast. But yes,
Yeah.
What's our email? Info at pleaseholdpodcast.com. That is info at pleaseholdpodcast.com. And then we're also new to TikTok. Y'all are not going to be seeing us do no TikTok dances, so don't worry about that because we both don't have any for them.
No.
But you can also follow us on TikTok. It's at Please Hold Podcast. That's at Please Hold Podcast. And if you have any other funny videos, we love memes that relate to this topic or anything that you kind of like want us to cover or that we have covered in our past episodes, let us know. And definitely tag us because we love memes.
Yes,
we're meme
addicts.
Meme addicts.
Meme
addicts. There we go. But yes, please rate, review, subscribe, like us, follow us. We need followers so we can continue doing this. So yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Well, I guess we should cheers, right? It's like our
thing now.
Our thing. Yes.
Yep. All right. We'll see
episode 3, and we'll see you guys Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
1, 2.